morning, everybody. It is Jessica Butts. Today, day, 7, I think, of the Front Seat Life book club, the Don't Do Stuff You Suck At book club, is going to be an interesting one. I'm not going to fib. I was just blowing my nose before this session. I am having a baby in the backseat moment, ironically. Maybe the universe brought this to me so that I could come to you with some real life data today for the Facebook Live. Good morning, Lisa. I am meant to come to you today to talk about chapter 10. So we're going to talk about chapter 10 through all of the cars. I outline them literally line by line to show you innately how God designed you to be in your front seat. All the things that you're naturally good at. So if you've been following me, you know that you should have a 4-letter type by now. You should have a ENFJ, an ISTP, some sort of 4-letter whole type. That now outlines your car to see exactly what you are innately good at and what you suck at. And again, as I just mentioned, I am totally in the back seat. I have been for about last night and today. And it's just interesting that this is coming up right now. I am likely going to cry. I've already started to cry a little bit. But I certainly hope that this is helpful for you so that you can see literally what it looks like from somebody. So it's funny, I could have come on here and started to talk about all the facts and tell you the data, which I still will, but I think to see it like real time and what goes on with somebody that happens to be extroverted, what a baby in the backseat looks like. So to back up a tiny bit, I'm going to talk a little bit about the car. So there's 4 parts of your personality in a car. So everybody just kind of imagine for a moment you in your car, and there's 4 different people in the car, and all of them are parts of who you are. All of them are a part of your personality. Your front seat, pretty simply put, is your very, very best self. It's how you were designed in this world. My hair is crazy today. Sorry. It's how you were designed in this world. It's how God designed you. It is your front seat. It is your best self. It is your driver, like that. I always imagine Lizzo kind of like it's your best self. So typically that's where I'm at. It's sassy. It's your best self. Whoever you are innately is your front seat. And when you are in your front seat, you are what I call in the flow. You guys know that difference between being in the flow and pushing a boulder up a hill. This morning, I'm pushing a boulder up a hill. This is effort. What I would rather be doing is in my back seat. So normally this stuff is easy. It's in my front seat. It's flow. 80% of the time, that's where I want all of you. So if you're introverted or extroverted, it doesn't matter because you have 2 people in the front seat. So you have a driver and a co-pilot, and those 2 people make up your best self. One is introverted and one is extroverted. So I'm going to use an ENFJ. Jen just came on. I'm an ENFJ. She's an ENFJ. And ENFJs, our front seat looks like being connected to people, building relationships, loving on people, giving to people, being creative. So the introverted part of ENFJs is our second best self, which is creative, thinking about things, all the ideas in the world. Lisa Fisher, I know, is watching right now too, and she is an ENFP. And the difference there is that her feeling is inside. My feeling as an ENFJ is outside. Hers is a little more in her heart, and then her creativeness is more out. She likes to talk about it more, and mine's in my head. So Lisa and I are very interesting examples because it shows how one letter, Dana's interesting too because she's an INFJ, of how different one letter can make in how you show up. So Lisa, I hope you don't mind this. I'm sure you know, but she's a good example of an ENFP. Again, her front seat is both feeling and intuitive, but she does them differently, introverted and extroverted, than somebody like ENFJ that I do. And so it's the same front seat. One is introverted, one is extroverted. Yeah, good, Lisa. And it's fascinating. And Lisa's actually one that really helped me kind of figure this out, because she asked a question about my driver is extroverted. So who are all the extroverts watching right now, recording or live? Who's an extrovert in the group? Just say yes, extrovert, or E, or whatever. I would love to see who the extroverts are in the group, because that is our technically best self, what others see of us. And so Lisa brought this up probably 2 years ago, and I found this fascinating, as she was like, I'm freaking exhausted, Jessica. I am trying to be in my front, I'm trying to be extroverted like 80% of the time, or almost 100% of the time. And I was like, oh my God, why are you doing that? Like, I would be exhausted. And I realized I was actually explaining it the wrong way. So Pamela's saying it, Jen is saying it, Daniela is saying it, lots of extroverts watching, that when we are only extroverted or introverted, we're doing ourselves a disservice. Extroverts have another introverted part in the front seat, another person, another part of their personality. Gosh, lots of you. And introverts are the other. Introverts also want and need connection. They just do it in different ways. So I want you to understand, if you take nothing else away from the book, these crazy things that I'm doing at 7 a.m., is that our front seat is balanced. We are both introverted and extroverted. And I talked about this 2 weeks ago, I think, or a week ago on Tuesday, is that there is this ambivert situation going on, and people are talking about it. This is where the ambivert comes from, is that extroverts also need to be introverts, and are also. We have both in us. But here's what's fascinating, and that's where I'm taking this to a whole nother level today, is this conversation about what it looks like, though, in your back seat. So in your front seat, your introverted and extroverted self can still be your best self. I want almost everybody to spend like 80% of their time here. This is you at your brilliance. This is when you are in flow. It's already making me cry. You know this feeling. Who knows this feeling? Of being in flow, being your best self. Things are going smoothly. No one's hurt you. You're not stressed out. You're not doing too many things that you suck at. That is 80%. That is in flow. That is our front seat. That is what Abraham Hicks would call the vortex. And I want people to understand that that is about 80% of the time when you're living the right life for you. When you're married to the wrong person, when someone hurts you, when you're stressed out, and now I'm going to go to the back seat. The back seat is really scary and detrimental. And there's two people back there. There's a drunk. I started to call it the drunk uncle. I have for years, and I'm really just going to start calling it a drunk, because it's basically like when you are drunk. So when we are doing too many things that we suck at, whether in our business, in our life, someone hurts you. You're stressed out. You're at your wit's end. So everybody, I want you to really visualize this for a minute. Imagine animals when they are stressed out and their back is up against a wall. You know, when I coach and teach this, I literally do it, but I can't get up right now. Your back is up against a wall. You're pushed back. And you know that feeling of like, you're stressed out, you're back here, you're at your wit's end. Who knows this feeling? And no matter if it's someone that's hurting you, if it's doing too many things that you suck at. I'm getting champagne toast, that's interesting. Donna, you're stressed out, your back is up against a wall. They're doing too many things that you suck at. It's like that feeling of just, it's too much. It's overwhelming. Natalie's saying we get it all too well. Yes, Bonnie, we all have been there. And anyone who's an adult, anyone who's probably over the age of 15 has had this experience of just trying to do things from our backseat, doing things out of vortex, doing this stuff from a place of stressed out. What happens is the front seat shuts down and we can't be our best selves anymore. Well, that's not true. We can force ourselves, which is what I'm doing right now. I'm really forcing myself to do this, but it also happens to be a front seat activity. I'm going to save that. I'm going to save that thought. I will come back to how you remedy it and fix it. But being in this place of stressed out and that animal reptilian response, I'm doing too many things that I suck at, or I'm being of service to too many people, or you're being a victim, or you're being a martyr. I'm a total martyr, so I get it. And then there's this victim mentality. Everything's done to me, or people are hurting you, or asking too much of you, or no one's loving you, or it's whatever the thing is. Right now, all of that feels like it's happening. I've got a couple of difficult situations in my life going right now that are really shutting me down. So that's what happens. So again, this reptilian response is your back is up against a wall, your back is up against a wall, your back is up against a wall, and then everything shuts down. Your prefrontal cortex in your brain shuts down. Our prefrontal cortex is called our rational brain. And our rational brain is there to help differentiate us from animals. It's there to calm us down, to let us take a deep breath, to be rational. I don't know about you, but sometimes I don't feel very rational because I'm hurt, I'm stressed out, I'm overwhelmed. That's really the kind of word, overwhelmed, right? We know this feeling. And when we get overwhelmed and stressed out and our back is up against a wall, what happens, people? Two things happen. Our prefrontal cortex, our rational brain, shuts down, and our reptilian brain, that brain stem in the back of our brain, that wakes up. And we basically turn into animals. And animals do two things when they are under attack. What are those things? I know you guys know what this is. It is fighting or fleeing. And we straight up become animals in those situations. When we are stressed out, our back is up against a wall, we're overwhelmed, someone hurts us, every part of our personality shuts down. Yeah, Lisa says run away. Me too, girl. And we shut down. And what's interesting what Lisa's saying, thank you, Smash, fight or run. Yes. Is extroverts run away. So you'll notice it's the exact opposite of our natural best self. So for an ENFJ, myself included, I am out in the world and giving and loving, and yes, I can do that, and open to feedback, and open to love, and open to conversations, and open to this, and let me be of service, and let me help. But when I am tapped, my resources are tapped, I'm personally doing way too much stuff that I suck at in my business, I'm overwhelmed, I'm giving too much, I'm not receiving enough, the balance is out of order, extroverts flee. We run away. We don't want to have conversations. We may not want to get out of bed. We don't want to talk to people. We don't want to be on social media. We may just binge watch TV. We literally shut down. We flee. And it's like a baby doing it. Let me be clear about that. Drunks, the drunk part of us, is that part of us that we suck at. I mean, anytime we do anything drunk other than dancing on tables is not a good idea. You're not going to sit down with your partner and have a really intense conversation, at least you shouldn't be, when you are intoxicated. You should not be doing anything in your business when you're intoxicated. But when we are pushing that boulder up a hill, who knows that? Who knows that feeling? I'm in it right now. I am pushing a lot of boulders up a lot of hills right now with not a lot of what feels like support. This is not about being a victim. This is about understanding what it feels like and looks like, and then what you can do about it. So I'm just telling you what it looks like, and then we need to do something about it and step up. It's about setting boundaries. It's about taking time off. It's about self-care. It's about hearing that you need stuff from other people, that you need to receive, that you need help. And so again, I want to be very clear about this, because sometimes people hear this as oh, I'm going to be a victim about this. No, I'm not saying be a victim about this. I'm saying feeling is hard. It is hard. It is hard. It's hard. And it's not about that. It's about identifying it, sitting in it, for as long as you may need. When I was going through my divorce, I sat in it for years. And then I pulled myself out of it. Of what do I need to do to make myself not in this place anymore? How do I get myself back into my front seat? And so as a strong extrovert and somebody who gives and wants to give and give and give, there's times where there's that fleeing. Right, Lisa Fisher? Right? All the other extroverts? Can I get some hands up? You guys know this, right? Pushing that boulder up a hill and then all of a sudden, we totally shut down. It's totally shut down. We just go away. We can't handle it. And it's not from a good place. It's not from a place of our front seat. So let's talk about the introverts. You guys are really interesting. I think we're all interesting, but this is super interesting. Introverts, they do the opposite. So where extroverts flee, introverts fight. It's the exact opposite, right? Again, some people are like, what is going on with you? What is happening to you? I don't understand. Why are you yelling at me right now? What's happening? And it's because you've like snapped. You've snapped. Natalie says, rawr, rawr. We come at people. You guys do. I don't. I run away. You guys fight. I'd love for you guys to discuss. So Kim's saying totally. And you might boss people around. You might become overly emotional. Extroverted looks different and when your baby comes out. And so again, I outlined this in the car. An extroverted feeler looks different. I'm over emotional. I'm going to freak out on you. I'm going to go crazy. An extroverted intuitive is a catastrophizer. The world is coming to an end. We're going to get a divorce. I'm going to be a bad lady. It's a catastrophizing feeling. And then extroverted thinkers might get super micromanaging and super curt and super short. And then the baby in the backseat for sensors is that it comes out very list-making and very bossy. And I need you to do this and this and this and this and this. And everybody around you is like, what is happening? And the same is true for extroverts, is that when we hide and we retreat, people are like, hey, Jessica, what's going on with you? In fact, Stacey Sorgen, God bless her, she's like the nicest, most amazing person. She's on the Front Seat Life team. She helps my community. She's the most giving person ever, and she can sense my energy a mile away. So if I would have gotten on here today and not have been transparent with you and told you that I was in my baby in the back seat, she probably would have sent a message and said, your energy is a little wonky. Are you okay? Can I do something for you? Can I love you? Can I be of service in some way? And that is why I do this, is because I want people to understand that when you see a baby in the back seat in yourself or in other people, it's a time to show compassion. It's a time to love on them. It's a time to say, what can I do? How can I help? Are you okay? Instead of, what's wrong with you? Why can't you be more like this? This is what we do, right? We judge people. She is the best. We judge people. We don't understand them. When people come, they hide or they start lashing out. We judge instead of, honey, what's going on? How can I help you? Do you need anything? And when we start to learn this about ourselves and about other people, we can go into relationships with ourselves and with other people with so much more compassion. I'm so sad and sick of all of the judgment. All of the judgment of why are you doing this and why aren't you more like this and all of the stuff, instead of really just keeping it compassionate and reaching out and asking people for help. And here's the deal too. Well, this is totally off topic, but I think on Facebook or Fakebook, there is this perception that everybody's great and everybody's fine. And the reality is it's at least an 80-20 rule. At best, we're 80-20, meaning still 20% of the time we're stressed out. We're at our wit's end. We might be hurt. We might need a friend. We might need whatever. Even those of you, I mean, even me, even the people that you see out there that you think, oh my God, they got it all together. We don't always have it all together, people. That's not fucking possible. It's not possible. And again, I'm telling you, like statistically, it's this 80-20. And 80-20, again, is at its best when you've done an overhaul of your life like I have. When I was married to the wrong person and I was in corporate America doing stuff that I sucked at, it was the opposite way. It was the absolute opposite. 80% of the time I was in my back seat. I was overweight. I was drinking too much. I was hiding my emotions. I didn't know what to do. I was a hot ass mess. And then again, I just decided to turn it upside down and just thought, I can't live my life like this. And then it's about taking action. And so I think I'll end today with, how do you get out of this? And the first step is always awareness. The first step is, oh my God, this crazy chick on Facebook Live is teaching me this thing, or YouTube, wherever you're rewatching this, is teaching me this thing that's like, oh my God, this is me. Because this is what most people do. They hear this and go, holy shit, like that's exactly what I do. That's what happens to me. And then I don't know how to get out of it. I don't know what to do. The first thing is awareness. No one can make change until there is awareness. And so awareness of what brings this on, what people bring this on, what circumstances bring this on, and what in your life is causing you to feel this way. Is it a lover? Is it a friend? Is it someone who's being an asshole in your life? Is it your job? Is it your ex-husband? Is it whatever? We have to be, you are very welcome, Darren. We have to be aware of what the thing is, and then we have to choose what we're going to do about it. Are we going to have the difficult conversation with the person who's causing us to feel this way? Are we going to stop this part of our life? Are we going to find a new fucking job and just get over it? There's other jobs. Are we going to, leave the job and go back to graduate school? Are we going to leave our husband? Like, I did all of those things because I just thought, I can't stay in this. I choose to not live my life like this the rest of my life. I choose happiness. I choose my front seat. And it took a lot of debt. It took a lot of fear. It took a lot of stepping into fear, but knowing that feeling, the awareness that I started to have of like, oh my God, I'm aware of what's causing me this. So then it becomes setting boundaries. I'm going to post a quote here in a few days on Instagram that says something like, I can still be love and kindness, and I can set boundaries like a motherfucker. Stay tuned for that over on Instagram. Go follow me on Front Seat Life. But I believe that's true because it's about self-love. It's about setting boundaries with a job, a boss, a life, a person that's causing you to feel this way. And then also like self-preservation, self-care, what puts you back into your front seat? And so what is it, the thing that's in your front seat? So part of the challenge, by the way, I'm doing after Friday, next week, I'm going to be emailing you. So you have to get on my email list. I'm done going live. Hi, Laura. I'm done going live at 7 a.m. I need a little rest in the morning. I don't actually sleep in, but I do a morning practice that is getting very interrupted by all of this. I love you, but this is getting challenging. So anyway, get on my list. If you're already on my list, you will already get it. But the book club people, go to jessicabutts.com, get enrolled. I will be sending you a challenge, a don't do stuff you suck at challenge. And day 1 or day 2, I forgot the sequence, is learning how to set boundaries. Learning how to say, that's fucked up. That hurts me. You don't get to do that. You don't get to talk to me that way. You don't get to do that thing to me. Or I'm going to leave this fucking job because it's making me a crazy person. Or whatever the thing is. Or it's in your own business. Hiring an assistant. They'll change your life. Stephanie has changed my life. And she helps me do the things that I suck at. And I reach out to people like my friends that get me and want to love on me and help me. It's about learning how to get back into your front seat. So when I'm super stressed out, sometimes I need to set boundaries. Sometimes I need to do self-care. I had a day last week too. I'm having a lot of them right now where I just needed to take a nap. I was so stressed out. I had people coming at me from every single angle and I just went boop, pause, pause on the world. I need to take a nap. And I'm pretty sure I took a nap at 10 a.m. because I just was like, I'm going to murder somebody right now if I don't just take a nap. And I did, and I woke up, and I apologized to the people that I canceled on, and I felt better because I needed to do some self-care. I needed to do some, I need to shut down effectively, otherwise I'm going to come from a place of my backseat. And so let's get very clear, and I will end here. If I hadn't come on here and said, if I hadn't been authentic, if I hadn't said, I'm in a fucked up place today, so good. If I hadn't said these things today, this would have come off inauthentic. I would have been coming to you from a place, I call it prickly. You know, when you're prickly, you introverts get especially prickly because you go, ah! And we get prickly, but in almost a passive aggressive way. Oh, can I get an amen? So gross, but it's true. And I think I would have showed up here because this is my front seat doing this. But if I hadn't just owned it, I think I would have come off as this weird, passive aggressive, somewhat underlying bitchiness because it would have been my back seat. I've had experiences, Pam saying I do, amen. Lisa Fisher saying it's true. I've actually called Lisa out on it. I used to coach Lisa, and I've called her out on it before when she was trying to over logic something. And I was like, whoa, 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 what's happening with you right now? What is this weird wonky energy going on with you? And the same is true for me, and the same is true for all of you. Is that when we don't show up and just own it, and I'm freaking doing it on Facebook Live. You guys can judge the shit out of me if you want, but I gotta just show up and keep it real because otherwise it's gonna come off completely inauthentic. And so, again, the first step is identifying it. The next step is learning how to communicate about it, learning how to express to people, I need to set some boundaries, or I need some help, or I need some love, or I need you to take care of me, or I need you to, quit being so mean to me, or whatever the thing is, or I need to stop doing this thing in my business because it's making me a crazy person. We cannot, I keep saying I'm going to end, but I will end on this. We cannot be well-rounded. It's just a bunch of bullshit. It doesn't really exist. We have to just stay being good at what we're good at, knowing that 20% of the time we're going to be in our backseat anyway. I would be a terrible therapist. I was a psychotherapist for years and years, and I'm still very proud of the work that I did there, is that shit comes up. People hurt us. We get stressed out. We go through stuff. People get sick. People die. People get divorced. People go in debt. Whatever the thing is, some unfortunate things happen in life, and we're going to get pushed back here. But we have to learn how to identify it. What do we need to do? Do we need to eat pizza and watch Netflix for a day and then put our big girl panties back on and jump in the front? Do we need to go see a therapist? Do we need a coach? Do we need somebody to talk to? What do we need to do to get ourselves back into the front seat? Because I'm here to tell you, you cannot live your life from the back seat. It'll make you miserable. It'll make you miserable. And it'll make everyone else around you miserable. So you parents out there that are trying to keep it together and white knuckling it and doing all the stuff, and then you're stressed out at a job that you hate or in a relationship you hate, and then you go home and you're giving the worst to your family, obviously it's not a good thing. Obviously not a good thing. So thank you for watching today. Thank you for holding me in grace. Thank you for letting me cry. Thank you for letting me be super transparent and vulnerable. I ask that if this lands with you and you need to share this with people, that you feel free to share it. It will be up on YouTube. For those of you who are on my list, it's going to get emailed out to you. You can simply hit the share tab on here. And the purpose is I just want people to know about this. I want people to understand their front seat and their back seat. I want them to have the language of, hey, I'm in my back seat. I can't deal with this right now, and learn how to have that language so that we can start having some compassion for each other. I'm so over being judged and all the stuff versus being in compassion with people. I love you and how can I help you and what's going on with you, instead of all of the judgment of what's wrong with you. How can I help? Can we have that language? How can I help? Instead of this, whatever. But so thank you, thank you, thank you. I will see you tomorrow. I'm going to switch gears pretty hard, and we're going to talk about mindset. And then we're going to end the week really strong, really hard, taking action. So I am not somebody who believes in like giving you all of this stuff without implementation. You've got to learn how to take some action. I'm so tired of people like learning all the stuff and then never doing anything with it. There's no point in learning anything without actionable items. So thank you for watching. For those of you watching the replay, thank you. I read all of these comments. So please don't hesitate to comment below. I will read them, see them, and I just love all the comments. Thank you so, so much. And I will see you guys tomorrow at 7 a.m. Bye. You're welcome, Tina.